Thank you, Chairman Mendelson. Today, along with Councilmembers Grasso, Bonds, Silverman, and Robert White, I'm introduced a resolution for the sense of the council. As a former school board member and now as a council member for Ward 8, education is important to me. I commend the work of Councilmember Grasso and his efforts on the Education Committee. Several of my colleagues have also presented legislation to the council to address issues regarding schools in the district. So today I ask my colleagues to support a resolution urging fair and equitable funding. We spend a lot of time talking about equity in this building. Now it's time to put money to action. I have not been able to sleep. Constituents have voiced their concerns of the unfairness of schools in Ward 8 and across the city losing tens of millions of dollars in funding. In reviewing the proposed budget, I'm concerned with some of the funding issues as well. According to the data I reviewed, 50% of Ward 8 schools have funding loss on paper, but really 75% have real losses in funding. And this during a time we have $1 billion more in our budget. The council sends extra funds for our most challenging schools, but often funds are not spent in a way that impact our students who are at risk. Ward 8 has 95% of schools with at least 50% at-risk population. It's difficult to understand how the FY20 proposed mayoral budget real dollar difference from FY19 is a loss of $10,170,610 for Ward 8 schools. In December 2018, the Washington Post reported that half of the district's lowest performing schools are east of the Anacostia River. According to a rating system that assigns the city's schools 1 to 5 stars, it is also reported in the same article from the Washington Post that the Superintendent of Education office will concentrate grant money in the neediest schools in the coming years. Ward 8 schools need more money, not less. Less funding means Ward 8 schools have fewer resources to support teachers. I'm concerned with teacher turnover rate in Ward 8 being high. It is also reported that after 5 years, about 78% of the teachers in Ward 8 leave. Having experienced teachers to continue to teach is critical. A careful balance must be struck between teachers' salaries and the allocation of funding based on per-pupil enrollment. More resources are needed for schools who offer direct services to constituents and less on a top-heavy central office and administration. It is now time for answers and solutions. I'm committed to working through this process to ensure that our students, parents, and communities have the tools and resources they need in Ward 8 and other schools throughout the district. I'm asking my council colleagues to support the sense of the council, urging fair and equitable funding for Ward 8 public schools. Thank you. I welcome any co-sponsors.
Are there co-sponsors for this legislation? This measure will be referred to the Committee on Education and the Committee of the Whole. Further, Councilmember White?
That's all for today, Chairman.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. You showed me as a co-sponsor on the last introduction by Councilmember Trayon White.
Madam Secretary, you heard that? Okay. Further, Councilmember White?
That's it for today, Chairman.